Good morning, everyone. First things first, had my coffee, had a little bit of a sandwich. It's a day off. I think it's Ascension Day. I'm not sure. But I think that's why we have the day off. Anyway, not going to complain. I'm already drawing. Continuing where I left off yesterday. After 2 pages, it's time to work on the uniform and to figure out just exactly how it is shaped, how the flaps are folding, the thickness, the buttons, the things I'll be drawing a lot. So it's coming along nicely. That's already 1 page in. I think this took about 20 minutes. So not as long as yesterday. Yesterday I was really spending a lot of time getting the line art down. So in this first part of day 87, I'm going to show you how I draw the Taskmaster, Albert, as he's known. He's one of the main characters of my sci-fi comic book Fosphor, which I've been developing these past 100 days of making comics, round 2, which is a little internet challenge set up by Kevin Cross of Monkey Mod, where we devote at least half an hour each day consecutively for 100 days to work on our personal comic book projects. There's lots of us still taking the challenge. If you do a little search, you'll find Jeff Lafferty, you'll find Thomas Clemens. Michael Pritchard is taking the challenge again. Tim Murray. There's a whole bunch of us. I'm forgetting right now in the heat of the moment, doing this little voiceover. So this character over here has got quite some distinctive features compared to the other characters who you'll find in some older videos. And I am trying to build a little cheat sheet for him. So I pinned down exactly what he looks like, how he dresses, to make things a little easier and consistent throughout the comic book, as I'll be redrawing my 26-page Rough Inks version, which you can download from Gumroad if you want to read up and see where I'm at. Got about 2 weeks to go before I hit day 100, and I'm thinking of putting these up then for all to see in a little downloadable sketchbook. Now I am keeping my options open as I'm still debating how I'm going to be releasing Fosphor in the future. I have had an offer to publish on Comixology thanks to Samurai Ox, and I'm also thinking about doing a Kickstarter, as it seems to be a rite of passage for all. But having watched today's I think it's day 11 by Jeff Lafferty, who's doing his Berserkernaut comic book. He put out some interesting ideas about checking out the Kindle platform through Amazon. So I might be looking over there as well today, just to see what I come across. In the meantime, let's get started on how to draw the Taskmaster, shall we? So one of the things I'm still struggling with is how to draw his hair, or better yet, how to render his hair. So I've pretty much got it set like this. So flows, he's got a bald patch here. So I just draw his face. I always draw these little triangle shapes for his eyebrows. Grumpy looking. He's got big cheeks, so the nose gets cut off. It's pointing upwards a little bit. Like that. Right? And then just draw a face. So there's this big puffy sphere of hair here, and I usually draw like these little triangle, these little whiffs of hair sticking out. Let's draw the cheekbone, and then from that hangs his cheek, of course. There's one here, here. No jawline. That's it. That's how we get the ear in. Keep it simple so we can go fast. So back to the hair. So normally the neck would be here. So put some, have the hair rise up here like that. So I think this might be a little too big if you draw the head in here. So how to render the hair. So now we got the basic shape. There we go. So the hair being very white, I figure if it's going to be colored, like just thinking of comic books that I can compare this to. So very few lines. No need to draw a shadow, and then the shadow should be like, let's say the shadow here. It should be like a blue. So this is what's keeping it up. So now it's going a little bit more square. Put this here. Cut that off. So that line across, I think this, like some people have this, looks cool. I think it is cut into the face by the sinew that pulls on your eyebrow. Speaking of which, his eyebrows are white, so again, ease up on the shadows. I don't think these are thin enough, these lines. Destroyed the paper already. Cut it off. I suppose one thing that is always have to keep in mind is that the face is round. Like these really angular shapes are fun to draw, but and like it's kind of important. It's kind of got my brother's nose actually. Come to think of it, it's kind of important to keep that in mind. Okay, so this gets cut off here. For shadows. So, oh, now he's really looking like my brother. Okay, let's cut that off. So this is going to be about the hair, but since we're on here anyway, so light bounces from below up. So unless it's very bright up here, you'll always get this, I think they call it occlusion, and so basically we can help define the shape by keeping this light, and then the shadow, like that. Same here, like I drew a little triangle for his cheekbone, so there's the cheekbone. Cheek is hanging from there. This might be a little pocket here, but the light bounces up against it, so define around it. And draw the lines in the direction of the skin. You know, so this goes like this around. Here it hangs like that around. Here it goes like this around. Such a nice little way to get those lines going in the right direction so it looks right. And it's one of those things where when you don't get it right, you know it's wrong, but to get it right, that's always one of those tips that really helped me. Like, you just follow along with the object you're drawing, with the shape. And then it's just a question of how many lines? Well, start with too many and then tone it down. So we've got the shape of the hair a little bit more up here, when normally I draw it a little bit more round. But I'm just going to leave this here as an example of maybe what not to do. Or maybe I'll turn around to it. Okay, so let's add a little bit more shadow here for the hair, for the nose. Again, around it, because this is going to be light, this is going to be light. So you can see how a stylized piece of art very quickly looks a lot more realistic just by adding in the correct shading. You can of course leave this to the colorist, I suppose, but I am the colorist. And I love me some black and white art fully rendered, so you know, I can always decide to leave it out in the inking stage. So let's draw another one. Get this hair done right. Okay. Okay. For guidelines, I always like to draw double, because I feel it's a lot easier to get the positioning in. So between these lines is the nose. Between these lines are the eyes. So I keep drawing the eyes like these little half circles, because he's a big man. So this gets filled up under the eyebrow, so you don't get to see the eyelids unless he looks surprised. Okay, like that. So a little triangle shape on top. Now it is from up high, so it could be a little lower, but again, like I'm trying to keep the shape simple so you get the expression very quickly. So foreshortening, so we follow along this line and we draw this one shorter. So he's got a stubby nose, points upward a little bit. Okay, going a little bit with shadow. So foreshortening. This eye falls a little bit over here behind the nose, so just cut it off. So if you think of the skeleton, you've got the eye socket around it, and then you've got the cheekbone, right? Again, he's a big guy, so it just kind of goes like that. Just draw that shape out. Keep this short because he's got big round lips, so they jut out, follow along the shape. But again, like on this side, it has to be short because the face is round. This one cuts in, and then the chin cuts out. So I'm just drawing these little geometrical shapes. It's not something I always used to do, but when I got into 3D modeling some time ago, you get to see all the polygons a lot, and something just clicked. I found it very helpful to see the grid of all the polygons. So something just clicked in my traditional art to draw that more as a guideline. So the nose gets cut off here because he's got quite a bit of cheek, same as with the lips. So now the trick I use to help illustrate that is I just draw these circles for so I don't try and go in too much with shadow just yet. Just draw these circles here, because whether or not I'm fully going to shade it, like the light or the shadow will be on there, right? So this is going to go around here, and you're going to get area of shadow or light around it. So foreshortening, like that. Okay, so the sinew, and then you can just draw around it like this. The sinew is over here, and you get that bit sticking out. So the hair, we're back to the hair. So draw the skull. So if we draw this here, you get the ear. Okay, I'll leave it like that. So the neck, usually like on a thin person like myself, you draw the neck right here. So it's going to go around over its shoulder. Draw that shoulder to the other side. Shorten like that. All right, back to the hair. We're there, we're getting there. So I got this forehead. Something I've noticed lately is that a lot of comic book characters get a short forehead, like they get a full set of hair. Now this character, it's definitely leaning over a bit, and on the previous page I had it flattened a lot more. So on this one, I'm gonna, let's see, let's just draw these. I don't even know what you call that. If he'd have short hair, you'd see that. So let's give it some volume. And then here it would go up, but it would curl, so. Same here goes on this side, foreshortened. So let's draw this shape, but for the top of the hair. Okay. Okay. Let me just get a sharper pencil and erase a lot of it, just to kind of keep things visible for me. So I've got my sharp pencil. It is the 4H one that I've been raving about lately. All right. So time to draw the hair. All right. Oh, it's tearing the paper. Okay, this is too sharp. All right, leave it. Go back up here. So I've got the top shape of the hair right over here. So I can kind of get the silhouette. Remember, the hair is like he's an older man. It's very white. So you're not gonna see a lot of texturing. Just more the outline. Sideburns. I think that came out all right. I can still use some thicker lines here and there to give it a little bit more weight. All right, leave it at that. Let's just finish up the face. I'm definitely a fan of the broken line, and I think it looks very cool. Though I always envy people who can just draw the smooth outline in one go. If it's done digitally, of course, there's lots of lazy mouse settings when you're using vector-based programs that can help you with that, which is awesome. But I'm here on paper. All right, so we got the, let's just tone this down a little bit and wrap this up. So now we know the uniform wraps around like this. All right, so light source. So by drawing this one here, it's just a little reminder of there is a bit of light source here. So that means we can fill this in. We've got the that shadow I drew here, but the light is going to bounce off, so you draw around it. Thicker outline. And then, so this is going to wrap around like I decided on the previous page. There's a button, so the clothing is going to hang from that button a little bit. Okay, so this is going to go like this. So cut in here, go around his neck, so it goes behind his head. So we add shadow here, and then now it's a pretty thick cloth, so there's not going to be a lot of wrinkling on the inside. You know, it's just going to be a smooth surface. Shoulder sticking out. Now I've been drawing him with his arms, like, just to kind of keep his arms out of the way, like behind his back like this. But then he's such a big guy, will he reach? That's kind of, but then I thought, like, you know, because he's a taskmaster, like he might have something to hit people with. So maybe he can have some, like a little stick to keep his hands tied behind his back like that. And add a nice little character detail. Alright, so this is gonna follow the shoulder, and then it's gonna go up for his chest. And then his belly, right? So there's going to be a bit of shadow here, a wrinkle in the cloth. Wrinkle in the cloth. Hop, hop. I've been following along a comic book artist by the name of ZH Comic Art. He does a lot of crazy cross hatching, so it's got me want to get better at it. He also has a YouTube channel, so I've been watching some of his videos. They're pretty cool little tutorial videos. He's still in school, I think, or university, or college. But he's hard at work trying to hone his craft, and he's a bit younger, so he's very high energy, which is kind of fun to watch, of course. It's very entertaining. But I need at least 3 cups of coffee. Okay. Cool. All right, we're just going to leave it at that because this is not, it's supposed to be about the hair, and I'm getting carried away here. But yeah, kind of get the, okay, stop. Kind of get the gist. So, all right, so we've got a nice little idea about shapes of the hair, or not, like here, like definitely gonna cut that off like that. Nice little chat about occlusion and rendering shapes by adding shadow and light. Even if it's a stylized drawing, it can add a lot to it. You can, like you can see, like even if you just want to do this in color, like you can, you know, so you know where to drop the light. Of course, the best way to learn this is just draw from nature. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. I think it's about 10, and it is time to get started on the next art project.